or die today for both of our sides, but Karachi Kings, they have struggled in a number of areas, but in today's numbers game package there has been one bright spark that has been helpful for them in the power play. Let's have a look at our numbers game. And for a side that hasn't managed to win too many matches, take a look at Karachi Kings. They're actually top of the best economy in the power play at 7.81, and I think Amir has a lot to do with Mohammed Amir.
Absolutely, the way he's bowling, the swing he's generating and the line and length he has been bowling at, what he has done really well, he has picked up wickets, and whenever you pick up wickets of the opposition, of course then the net run rate, generally the runs goes down, and that's what he has done really well.
He was very impressive, wasn't he, Mark Butcher?
Yeah, and I guess the problem for Karachi Kings is what happens when he's out of the attack. I mean, you know, he's still a fantastic performer. He doesn't have the pace perhaps that he had in his youth, but he's incredibly skillful. He's able to surprise people with the short ball still, even though the pace is down a little bit from his prime, and he still has all of those competitive juices, doesn't he? Kind of, you get him in the battle and he's absolutely up for it. The massive issue for Karachi is as soon as he's out of the attack, they get pogoed everywhere, which is a major problem for them.
He certainly was amazing. That was our numbers game for this evening. Well, from one of the stars of the teams that we're seeing here this evening, Mohammed Amir, we look at the Quetta Gladiators, and let's take a little look at our star talk with Umar Akmal, who was unbelievable last night for the Quetta Gladiators. He caught up with Sikandar Baksh just before this.
उमर, सबसे पहले तो कल की इनिंग्स के लिए बहुत बहुत मुबारकबाद। जिस तरह से आपने खेला, थोड़ा सा बताएं कि माइंड में क्या चलता है एज अ बैटर, जब आप बाहर बैठा होता है काफ़ी मैचेस में, सोच रहा होता है कि मैं अंदर जाऊं, मौका मिले तो मैं दिखाऊं अपने जौहर। तो कल की इनिंग्स किस माइंडसेट से गए थे?
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। सिकंदर भाई, सबसे पहले तो अल्लाह ताला का शुक्र अदा करता हूँ कि कल की जो इनिंग्स खेली है, लेकिन ये इनिंग्स मुझे ज़्यादा खुशी होती है कि हम लोग मैच जीते हैं। और आप ये कह सकते हैं कि इससे पहले 4 मैच में बाहर बैठा हुआ था और सोच रहा था, उस तरह की प्रैक्टिस कर रहा था। स्पेशली अपनी कोचिंग स्टाफ का मैं शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ। अगर मैं बाहर भी बैठा हुआ था तो उन्होंने मुझे ये फील नहीं होने दिया कि मैं मैच बाहर बैठा हूँ, मेरी लुक आफ्टर नहीं कर रहे। जिस तरह की मैं प्रैक्टिस चाह रहा था वो मुझे वैसी प्रैक्टिस करवा रहे थे।
किस तरह की प्रिपरेशन रखी है आपने, यानी जो ऑफ सीजन होता है तो क्या कुछ चीज़ें रूटीन क्या हिस्सा हैं आपके, जिससे आप अपने आप को रखते हैं इन, ताकि खेल सके किसी भी टीम में जब बुलाया जाए?
रूटीन में यही है सिकंदर भाई, आपको पता ही है कि पिछले कुछ सालों में बड़ा टफ टाइम आया हुआ था मेरे पे, लेकिन उसमें मैं स्पेशली अल्लाह ताला के बाद अपनी फैमिली का शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ तो उन्होंने मुझे गिरने नहीं दिया, स्पेशली अपनी वाइफ का। उसने ये कह लें कि मुझे प्रैक्टिस पे मुझे ज़बरदस्ती भेजती रही। समटाइम मैंने कहा कि यार मैंने नहीं जाना, मैंने खेल लिया बस जितना खेलना है, लेकिन मेरी वाइफ ने मुझे एक चीज़ बोली कि नहीं, अभी आपने पहले खेला था, अपने लिए खेला था, फैमिली के लिए खेला था, अब आपने मेरे लिए खेलना है, बच्चों के लिए खेलना है। तो उस हिसाब से मैं अपनी प्रिपरेशन कर रहा था।
आखिर में सवाल कि आपकी बैटिंग ऐसी है, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी काफ़ी, किसी नंबर पे भी आप खेल सकते हैं, लेकिन फिनिशर का रोल ज़्यादा पहचाना जाता है और वही चीज़ शायद क्वेटा मिस कर रही है। टीम का इस वक्त क्या प्लान है, क्योंकि क्वालिफिकेशन के चांसेस हैं?
देखिए, अगर हम देखें तो ये 3 मैच अगर हम अच्छे नोट पे अगर हम लोग फिनिश करते हैं, अच्छी एवरेज से विन करते हैं, तो होपफुली इंशाल्लाह ताला हमारे चांसेस क्रिएट हो सकते हैं।
यहाँ आपको क्या लगता है कितने रन्स का ये स्क्वायर है, कितने यहाँ पे?
देखिए, जिस तरह का सबसे पहले तो इधर के ग्राउंड स्टाफ को मैं मुबारक देता हूँ कि उन्होंने जिस तरह की विकेटें तैयार कर रहे हैं। यहाँ का क्राउड बहुत ज़्यादा एंजॉय कर रहा है। यहाँ पे तो उसके अंदर में 200 भी सेफ नहीं है। अगर 200 सेफ नहीं है तो मेरा ख्याल है कि यहाँ पे 200 प्लस अगर हो, 250 या 225 हो, तो फिर दूसरी टीम हल्का सा सेफ हो सकती है।
चलिए, गुड लक फॉर द मैच।
थैंक यू।
Well, it doesn't get much more explosive than what that man Umar Akmal did at the end of the innings for Quetta Gladiators. And with 43 off 14 at a strike rate of over 307, Butch, where's he been for the Quetta Gladiators? My gosh!
Well, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? When you get on a little bit, and all of the youngsters in the game are sort of coming through, and you've got guys bowling rockets and thunderbolts like this and all that. It's not easy to go out there and reprise your greatest hits packages from years ago. But what it does prove is that sort of class is still there. Whether or not he can produce it on a more regular basis is probably questionable at this stage of his career. But if you give him the opportunity at the back end of an innings
to come in and have a real swing, and he still has the ability to bash it out of the park. He's a terrific player, has been a terrific player. He's had the massive ups and downs, hasn't he, in his life and in his career. And it's a little bit of a swan song for him, I suppose, at the back end, to be able to come out and enjoy himself and play with a little bit less pressure. I was interested what he was saying about his wife there. I mean, it's similar conversations you had with Ben, I guess. That, don't quit, Benny. It's going to be all right. Everything's going to be fine.
It's impossible trying to support a cricket player, I swear to God. The mental game is just as important as the physical game. And I suppose if we look at Umar Akmal as well, Sana, the experience is so important in this format of the game. Knowing how to keep a clear, calm mind surely comes so in handy. I mean, Ricky Ponting said during the Big Bash this year that T20 is an old man's sport, an old person's sport.
Yeah,
what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's a very valid point, because in T20 cricket you have more failures than success, because there's so much pressure. You have to come out and just do it from the first ball. And I think with Umar Akmal, how he has, like Butch said, that how many times he has been dropped, other controversies, then coming back, sitting for 4 games and coming and producing an innings like that, you have to give him credit. And hopefully we can see him a little up the order, so we can see some more runs on the board.
Oh, let's hope that there's some fireworks if you're a Quetta Gladiators fan. But we're heading to a short break. Stick with us, so that all-important toss and the pitch report is coming up right after this. welcome back to Pindi Cricket Stadium, where we are getting ready for the Quetta Gladiators taking on the Karachi Kings in the HPL PSL. All to play for both of these teams tonight, as we've mentioned a little bit earlier. But as we head towards the toss, I thought it'd be a great time to ask Mark Butcher and son Amir just what to expect in these playing 11s. We've got two sides here who haven't managed to really settle on a lineup, and a lot of questions, I suppose, for Karachi Kings first and foremost. Mohammed Amir Sana has been out with an injury. Sharjeel, we know, is out with an injury. Andrew Ty has flown back to Australia for the ODI domestic final for Western Australia. What do you do with the lineup in that order? You know, it's a small ground, as we mentioned, lots of runs on offer.
Yeah, I think maybe Qasim Akram will get a chance. Hasnain, who is struggling with an injury, he might be able to come back in Quetta. But with Karachi, I think Shoaib Malik, I chatted with him, so there was talks that he might not play, but it looks like he's fit. So yes, there might be some chance for Qasim Akram. I think he has been sitting out for a long time. So this kind of thing creates opportunities for players, and this is the time for them to just step up and grab those opportunities.
And Qasim Akram as well, Mark Butcher. A lot of people have been very interested in how he's been performing.
Yeah, they certainly have. I mean, there's some extraordinary talented young players knocking around, isn't there? As there always is in the PSL. It's what makes it such an exciting competition. I think one of the problems for both of these teams really is as Sana said right at the very beginning, their recruitment in the off-season leading into the tournament was just a little bit haphazard. They didn't really nail down. You couldn't look at either squad and say to you that is going to be your strong 11. You're going to base it around these players. Too many players coming and going. Too many what ifs and maybes about availability, and all of that has meant that they've had to chop and change too often to get any sort of continuity.
Oh, it looks like we're ready for the Be Love Network toss, so let's get out to the middle for the toss with our captains.
Welcome to the BabarAzam Network coin toss. It's match 22, Karachi Kings versus Quetta Gladiators. We got our match referee here, Mr. Roshan Mahanama, and of course Imad Wasim and Sarfaraz Ahmed. Imad, you have the coin? Oh, Sarfaraz has the coin.
Heads.
Heads is the call.
बॉलिंग
हाँ जी क्या करेंगे सरफराज?
बॉलिंग करेंगे पहले.
बॉलिंग करेंगे. ओके, ये बताइए कि टोटल यहाँ पे बड़े बन रहे हैं बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली पिंडी स्टेडियम की यही बात है. तो क्या आपके दिमाग में है कि डिफेंड किया जा सकता है, चेज हो जाएगा?
देखिए, अभी तक जो देखा गया है वो अर्ली ऑन जो है यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा स्टार्टिंग में जो है फिर जो है वो सॉफ्ट चल रहा है. थोड़ा सा बॉल थोड़ा सा फंस के आता है. अगर पहले 6 ओवर में तो कोशिश करेंगे वहाँ पे विकेट लेने की, और उसके बाद जितना कम से कम स्कोर हो उतना अच्छा है हमारे लिए.
तब्दीलियाँ लाए हैं टीम में?
डेफिनेटली जब चीज़ें अच्छी चल रही होती है तब्दीलियाँ हो रही हैं. तो 4 तब्दीलियाँ हैं आज भी. विल स्मिथ और यासिर अली नहीं खेल रहे, उनकी जगह उमैर बिन यूसुफ और मार्टिन गप्टिल आए, और ओडियन स्मिथ और अपना उमैर आसिफ नहीं खेल रहे, उनकी जगह ड्यून पेट्रोलियस और एमल खान टीम का हिस्सा बने.
आप लोगों के क्लोज मैचेस हुए लेकिन फिनिशिंग लाइन क्रॉस नहीं कर पाए. चीज़ों को सिंप्लीफाई कैसे रख रहे हैं एज कैप्टन के जीत को ही देकर? और ये इंपॉर्टेंट है कि क्वालिफिकेशन अभी भी है पॉसिबल.
देखिए, बिल्कुल अभी भी लड़कों से यही बात की कि इसके अलावा जो है लिटिल बिट चांस है हमारे पास. तो कोशिश यही करेंगे. देखिए, जब अच्छी क्रिकेट हो रही होती है टूर्नामेंट में तो आपको फील्डिंग जो है एक इंपॉर्टेंट रोल अदा करती है. तो लड़कों से यही बात करेंगे जो क्लोज चांसेज है उसको अवेल करें. अगर वो अवेल कर लेंगे तो चीज़ें बेहतर हो सकती हैं, क्योंकि टूर्नामेंट इतना अच्छा ज़बरदस्त चल रहा है. रन आपको पता है कि 180+ रन हो रहे हैं यहाँ पे. तो फील्डिंग में ऐसा फैक्टर है कि अगर वो बेहतर हो जाए तो शायद रिजल्ट में बेहतरी आ सकती है.
चलिए, गुड लक टू यू.
थैंक यू.
Talk to Imad now. Imad, again the same question, that how do you simplify things for your team as captain when winning is not coming your way?
Look, we're still in the tournament, still not out of the tournament. If and buts will happen later on, but today is the game we have to win. And we just sat down, and we talked about how we're going to win it. There has to be someone who can come up and take the tails off while batting and finishing the game while bowling.
So you've been asked to bat first. Now, we know this is a high-scoring ground. What score do you feel is defendable out here?
Look, anything over, what I believe anything over 180, 190 is a very good score in T20s. Having said that, we have to take wickets. But I wanted to bat first on this track. It's a very good track. Scoring over 180, 190, anything can happen.
Okay, what about changes in the team?
2 forced changes. Andrew Ty is gone back. Sharjeel is unfit, so we put Musa in. And instead of Irfan Niazi, we have Qasim Akram.
Okay.
And James Fuller is in.
Okay, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so now we know that Quetta has won the toss and decided to bowl, and they usually do that. And I've got a gentleman over here who's all in purple, so what's the scene here? Quetta, okay. Well, Quetta loves to, chase, and this has been their habit through and through. How do you see this trip when they're going to bowl first?
Look, if I look at the other centres and compare this centre with Lahore and Karachi and Multan, I think this pitch is a belter. I mean, we have seen teams batting second have won more games, so I think it's not going to make much difference. There's a quite nice sheen on the pitch. There is a little bit of grass, not much grass, so I think it will come onto the bat nicely. It will play even throughout the evening.
I was just talking to the captains how to make things simpler as in, because both of them are suffering for points. So what would you suggest to the side, to both the sides? How do they go about in their game plan on this pitch?
Look, Karachi especially, I think they played good cricket. It's unfortunate that the certain games they've just come so close and couldn't really finish it. And I think it's important for teams to sort of finish the game. And I think no better pitch than this. If the situation comes like that, where you have to really get 13 and over, 14 and over. We saw last night Azam Khan and we saw Nawaz, Umar Akmal playing really well on this pitch. So this pitch offers you that you can finish the game on this pitch.
Quite a lot for fast bowlers also. We've seen Naseem Shah in action. We've got some pace out here, Mohammad Amir.
Yeah, I think the faster bowlers will have their say, because previous game we saw, the faster bowlers got more wickets. They got 11 out of 14. So if there is anything in this pitch, this is for the pacers. Spinners will probably have a little problem on this pitch. So I feel, short pitch deliveries we saw did work. Although it's a small ground, 71 meters all around, fast outfield. But yeah, you have to come with certain, tactics to just pick out wickets. Picking out wicket is very, very crucial in any format.
So Karachi batting first got to get 200, somewhere around that in this ground, right?
Yes, I think so. I think 200 or 190 sort of, I think is kind of par, because otherwise you're losing games before.
Well, you heard the man. That's what you got to do.
Well, the news from the middle was Quetta Gladiators won the toss and they've elected to try something different and bowl first today. Plenty of changes for both of our sides, so we have a lot to unpack here. Sana and Butch, 4 changes for Quetta, 3 changes for Karachi. But I'll come to you first, Butch. Finally, after Guptill scores 100 for Quetta, it's hard to believe that he didn't play in the last match, but he's back with another chance at the top of the order.
Yes, he is. Again, that's indicative of the way that they've played, that they've kind of, they kept making changes. He made 100 very early on in the tournament, and then after sort of the partnership between himself and Jason Roy was split up by Roy going back to play for England, that they haven't been able to settle on the sort of the real powerhouse that they want to lead off with. So Will Smead has had a go now, Guptill is back. Terrific player, all good. They've also got Dwayne Pretorius playing in the side as well, who's just recently retired from international cricket, big all-rounder. Maybe that will help them out in terms of having a bit more depth, a bit more firepower with bat and ball. And for Karachi Kings, well, great to see that Kasim is going to get a game, as we mentioned him already. And James Fuller, the Englishman, is going to have a go as well.
Yeah, it's going to be so much to look forward to. We are going to go to a quick break, but we will continue to unpack these playing 11s on the other side of the break.
thing. Yeah, and